The chipmunk. Small, ground-dwelling, striped rodents, they're technically squirrels. Related to groundhogs, marmots, woodchucks, and prairie dogs, they're the smallest members of the Sciuridae family. Filmed at a high frame rate, this footage has been slowed down to 1/4 of the actual speed. Even in slow motion, they're incredibly quick, darting, twitching, and scampering around, gone in an instant. Known for their burrowing habits, love of nuts, and their large front teeth, their fur can be brown, black, beige, or yellow, with telltale stripes running from head to tail. With a normal lifespan of 2 to 5 years in the wild, some species can live more than twice that, averaging in size from 2 to 6 inches long with a 3-inch tail, weighing less than a pound. Yes, chipmunks are undeniably cute, with their glossy, enchanting eyes, bushy tails, striped backs, and of course, their adorably chubby cheeks. Even if you haven't seen them in the wild, you might know them best from Hollywood. Walt Disney introduced his animated chipmunk duo Chip and Dale in 1943. And 15 years later, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore were thrust into mainstream pop culture, singing their musical hit, The Chipmunk Song. The chipmunks pictured here are called cliff chipmunks, with a range spanning Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming, all the way down through Colorado, Arizona, and Mexico. Eating seeds, nuts, and fruits, they're mostly active during the summer months in the early morning and late afternoon. In Utah, chipmunks are mostly inactive during winter, when they retreat to their underground burrows to hibernate. Although the chipmunk diet consists primarily of seeds, nuts, fruits, berries, and sometimes grass, roots, and mushrooms, they're omnivores. Dining on a variety of plants and animals, small frogs, lizards, worms, bird eggs, insects, and other arthropods are also on their menu, when the opportunity strikes. Around human habitats, chipmunks can eat cultivated grains and vegetables and other plants from farms and gardens, so they're sometimes considered pests. Chipmunks mostly forage on the ground, but they can climb trees to obtain nuts such as acorns and hazelnuts. Their diets are more diverse during the warmer months. Throughout the late summer and fall, many species stockpile non-perishable foods for winter, hoarding nuts and seeds for colder months. They mostly cache their foods in a larder and remain in their nests until spring, unlike some other species which make multiple smaller caches of food. Their ample cheek pouches allow chipmunks to carry lots of extra food to their burrow for long-term storage or short-term consumption. It's widely believed that the name chipmunk comes from the chip-chip sound that they make. Chipmunks are protective of their burrows and use a range of loud chirps as well as body language to express territorial claims, dominance, or warning others of danger with trilling alarm calls. No, they don't sing like Alvin and his brothers, but chipmunks do have a sizable vocal repertoire. Females also have a mating call for which they use their high-pitched vocalizations. In fact, chipmunks are so talkative and their high-pitched communications are so ubiquitous, many people mistake them for bird calls. Chipmunks rarely venture more than 1/3 of a mile from their burrows. Since they have so many predators, Chipmunks feel most at home in areas with plenty of ground cover, including trees, stumps, shrubs, rocks, or anything else that might provide protection. Although their ideal habitat is a deciduous forest, they're also comfortable in other areas that provide sufficient cover, such as urban parks, fence lines, hedges, and houses. While some chipmunks make nests in logs or bushes, most prefer to dig underground, either directly underneath or next to natural or man-made cover. They dig two types of hidden homes: shallow burrows to seek refuge while foraging during the day, and deeper, more complex burrows where they nest, store food, and spend most of the winter months. Chipmunks construct expansive tunnel systems that can stretch 10 to 30 feet long, excavating as deep as 3 feet underground. With several camouflaged entrances, food storage areas, and sleeping sections, the nests tend to be larger, lined with leaves and other plant matter to make for a cozy bed. They keep them clean and tidy by moving shells and other waste to refuse tunnels. However, chipmunk burrows can cause damage when dug next to structural foundations like homes or barns. Chipmunks are solitary creatures and normally ignore one another except during the spring and late summer, their breeding seasons. Males and females come together to mate, then part ways again. After a gestation period of about 30 days, baby chipmunks are born blind and hairless, about the size of a jelly bean. Average litters are between 4 to 6 young at a time. Pups develop quickly, emerging from their burrow after 4 to 6 weeks. Then, within the next 2 weeks, they'll leave to make their own way in the world. Some chipmunks, like the eastern species and those living in regions with colder winters, hibernate, but not continuously. This is known as torpor. During the winter months, they fall into a deep sleep with a slowed heart rate and lower body temperature for extended periods, waking every few days to feed on their stockpile of nuts and seeds, sometimes even venturing outside. While in the deep sleep phase of hibernation, their heart rate declines from about 350 beats per minute to about 4 beats per minute, and their body temperature can drop from 94 degrees to whatever the temperature of their burrow, as cold as 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Although there are 25 different species, 23 of them are mostly Western, with the eastern and the Siberian chipmunks the only other two remaining. The eastern chipmunk ranges from Quebec in Canada, west to Manitoba, and all the way south through Georgia in the US. The Siberian chipmunk is the only species that's found outside of North America, with a range extending through northern Asia, central Russia, and Japan, and even throughout Europe, where it was first introduced via the pet trade in the 1960s. And now, chipmunks at full speed. Chipmunks can travel at speeds of up to 21 miles per hour. Although this might appear sped up now, it's not. They're incredibly fast and quick. Chipmunks have a lot of predators. Just about any carnivore bigger than one of these little critters is a potential threat. This includes raccoons, owls, hawks, weasels, foxes, coyotes, bobcats, and lynxes. Even cats, dogs, snakes, and sometimes their own squirrel cousins have chipmunks on their menus. Chipmunks avoid becoming meals by being quick and nimble, and sticking close to home. These speedy escape artists remain ever vigilant, making their behavior nervous and twitchy. While out foraging for food, they'll dash away at the first sign of danger down their burrow hole, into the brush, or even up a tree. Here's some fun facts about these furry friends. One tiny chipmunk can gather up to 165 acorns in a single day. Their cheek pouches can hold a stash 3 times the size of their head. The main entrance of a chipmunk burrow can extend up to 20 feet in length. Male chipmunks are called bucks. Females are called does. Baby chipmunks are called kits, kittens, or pups. A group of chipmunks is called a scurry. The vocal sac of a male chipmunk inflates when they make sounds. The Palmer's chipmunk inhabits the Spring Mountains in Clark County, Nevada. Chipmunks are excellent tree climbers and swimmers. In captivity, chipmunks can sleep up to 15 hours per day. Chipmunks are diurnal, meaning they only come out during the daytime when their main defense system, their eyes, work to their advantage. Chipmunks are beneficial to the environment, fulfilling several important functions in forest ecosystems. Their harvesting and hoarding of seeds plays a crucial role in seed dispersal, aiding in the spread of shrubs, trees, and other plants, as well as seeding establishment, a critical phase in plant growth cycles. By eating mushrooms, they help spread a fungus that increases water and nutrient absorption in plants.
Get out in the sun. Look at you guys. Just hanging out?
I have one black. Oh, no red one? No.
No, but I haven't replaced them. Because I did, I was on some stupid high.
Oh, I broke it. At least I have parachute cord that you could use.
Hello.